do a greatest hits. And when I went into the company, into L.A. Reid, the CEO of an American company, I told him that I was going to Nashville to make a country record. And I think I somewhat misspoke because no one knew if I was going to go make a George Strait record or an acoustic record and be Woody Guthrie. And we didn't know. We went to Nashville with an empty notebook and an exuberance. So when we went in to make this greatest hits in September of last year, put yourself back into that time frame. The economy was much different. It was peaking, but it was stale. The president had been in office for 8 years, so the administration had been locked into their ways, and there was nothing left to write about the way we did with Have a Nice Day, and the irony behind that title and what that song meant.
Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Take a look around you, nothing's what it seems. We're living in the broken home of hopes and dreams.
So when we started to write, we wrote a song about Richie's Rehab, we wrote a boy-girl song. None of these things were moving either of us emotionally. And then in October of 2008, the world changed, and we started to write a lot more and from a different point of view. But these didn't seem like the kind of songs that were appropriate for greatest hits and bookending a moment in time in our career. They seemed like the next chapter. So we wrote a couple. We took our time. We wrote a couple more. When I had about a dozen or so out of the 28, I went to see the record company and I said, I got good news, I got bad news. You know, the good news is I think we're making an album here. The bad news is no greatest hits. And so for us, you know, we didn't intend to do this as a studio record. And even with John Shanks, our producer of the last two albums, Lost Highway and Have a Nice Day, we told John, go about your business, go and do all the other things that you've got on the slate with all the other artists you care to work with, and whenever you have time, and we have a couple of more songs to add to this mix, we'll come in and cut them. And with the opportunity to spend 9 months writing, we got to see what was happening in the world, and hence each of these chapters depict a certain moment in time, and the story was completed with Born to Follow. And now I think at the end of the day, the company will have a lot more greatest hits to add to the greatest hits, and everybody will be happy in the year or so.
Someone's bleeding, but you can't see his blood. Ain't nothing else I'm feeling like this old love to done.
Madison Square Garden is the world's most famous arena. It's not one that we play all the time.
Those pictures that you left behind, the memories of different lives, and they made us laugh, some made us cry, when we need you, we have to say goodbye. But I'm here to run my fingers, baby, through your head, touch your lips to hold you near. When you say your prayers, try to understand. I made mistakes, I'm just a man, and when you hold you close, and he pulls it near, and he says the words you've been needing to hear. I wish I were him, 'cause his words are mine to say to you, to the end of time, that I will love you, baby. Always, and I'll be there
Playing the Garden is always very special, and there's a lot of pressure that's put on yourself. But we utilize those garden shows as an intimate club setting in our eyes. And the idea is that every tour since 1989, we like to end at Giant Stadium. And it's become sort of expected.
Here are the four guys who give love a bad name. Bon Jovi!
Lost Highway tour, we wanted to do something unique, so we played it in Central Park. And we chose to do that instead of Giants so that we could do two things: play a free show for the fans and for the New Yorkers, and also to do something unique, and then to do something more intimate for our friends and family and fans at the Garden 2 nights later, and that was going to be the end of it. Only 2 nights, and that was going to be the end of this era. So performing at the Garden, of course, is always special. And Tony Bon Jovi, my brother, directed the shoot, and we lit the place beautifully and played, oh my goodness, 30-plus songs over the course of the 2 nights, and we cut together one performance DVD that is the end of that era. So Live from the Garden both looks and sounds great, and it was a great way to end the Lost Highway accomplishment. We're coming to the O2. It is the only arena that we've played in the last 20 years in the UK. It's been a long time since we were indoors. Ever since the Keep the Faith tour, we've made a point of being outdoors in stadiums and open green fields. With this tour, I was allowed or asked by the owners of the arena to be at the opening celebration of the O2. As we're planning the forthcoming Circle tour, I thought to myself, why don't we do something, again, unique, and do a residency in London. And while we were mixing the record, The Circle, for the first time, this time, we went to the O2 to see the Kings of Leon, and it's just a great, big rock venue. And I thought, why not? Why don't we just come to England for a whole month of June and do as many nights as we possibly can? And this will be the only UK shows, in fact, probably the only European shows for all of 2010. So every artist dreams of the opportunity to have the audience come to them instead of you going to the audience, and this is going to be that chance. So there'll be very unique shows. There'll be nights where we play albums in their entirety. There'll be nights that are more acoustic driven, electric driven. I'm going to change it up every night. You won't see the same show twice.